have had. 300 pound guy. There's a freaking buck right there, dude. Buck with a fawn.
Breakfast of champions today. I can still taste it. 2 McDoubles. Brett's burrito. It's nothing but energy.
I might get cold tonight.
Let's go, boy. Did you see it right here? So tight. I didn't see it.
Where did you see it?
Oh, like right. I don't know. 60 yards up in front of us.
Always bump
Just
a
right
doe.
by that blinder stand.
Always bump a doe here.
Hey, listen. Can't do much about it. What?
Half rack.
Really? 2-year-old half rack, something like that?
I just saw one side. Unless it was one of those jacked up, like one-sided bucks.
Did you just run across or something?
Went out to the back plot. Really just stacking them in there tonight. There's like hardly any sign at all in here. Whoops. What other options do we have? So, just make sure you keep my pull-up rope untangled here. Should you go up first, though?
Yeah. Okay.
If you can go up there, keep this thing hooked around you once you get up there. There are 2 Brusic knots, we're good. So, basically, I think just get it so you can, the top of this is right at the base of that first stand. Just on your way up, keep that binoculars kind of handy, just keep an eye out there, and I'll keep an eye on everything around here. I'll try to hoist the camera up to you once you get up to the first stand. And then just step over into yours. And I'll put my bow on and go up. Black Friday is stressful, man. We got set up tonight. It's the afternoon of Black Friday. Happy shopping day. We finally got in here and set up this evening. It's about 3 o'clock right now. We're at Thanksgiving stuff this morning and just came out here for a quick sit tonight. It's a private farm we have permission on. I've only hunted it in this parcel one time this year. I haven't hunted this far back in here. In the summer, there was a couple nice bucks running around back in this corner. There's what used to be a food plot to my left, and then over to my right, there's another one. They've been grown up for the past couple years now. It's just a lot of goldenrod and kind of like a reverting field. Last year, we saw bucks coming out into these fields, bedded up in the pines, kind of transitioning into just browsing around, and then working their way either to the scrape line here in front of us or the scrape line to the east. Our hope tonight is that a buck is bedded back in the pines there. It's going to work his way down to this corner and give us a 25-yard shot. Of course, it's probably not going to work out that easily. There's also a heavy trail that comes up out of the bottom right beside us, and there's a rock cliff behind us. Our scent is blowing down over that cliff, and there's pretty much one way to get up right beside us. It's November 23rd. It's definitely the rut. We saw quite a few deer on their feet today driving around. I've got decent confidence that we're going to see something tonight. We're just kind of throwing one last shot at this property. Gun season starts Monday, and I don't know that we'll have another chance to get back out here until then. See what happens. Oh, no, it's a buck, dude. Yeah. I mean, like, probable shooter. The buck was right behind that. Well, this buck might slip out right here into this little opening, dude. Was definitely a buck, 110%. Yeah, right there. There he is, isn't he plot? I didn't see him for long. If he gives you a shot, like he's bigger than your feet, dude. Like, I promise you. I think he's just super rowdy up. Looks like a 2-year-old. I don't know if that's the same one, man. I mean, it's the same one we saw earlier, but
This one that just crossed is the same one, but that one while I was peeing was...
yeah, Keith just got up and was peeing, and we were kind of taking turns, and of course, it's my turn to watch. So naturally, I was looking the wrong way. I look up and I was like, that buck in the plot. I mean, he looked big, and his body was big, and he went down to the left.
The 1 second that I saw him, it didn't look like that buck.
Yeah, so then this buck pops back out, which is odd because it's definitely the same one we saw, an hour ago or whatever. And he was coming from the same way he came from earlier, so they just do loops in here. But he came in, moved right, 40 yards in the pines right there. You just watched him walk, and I grounded at him. He stopped, and he just kind of kept moving. My thinking here is like, that's a 2-year-old buck. He's on his feet, fast, moving around.
Yeah.
I keep smelling tarsal, and I know we both keep smelling tarsal.
Yeah.
We have since we got in the stand. I'm still not convinced there's not a bigger buck with a doe, because we've seen now 1 doe, 2 fawns, 1 really weird-looking doe that moved quick through here.
Possibly 2 different bucks.
Possibly 2 different bucks.
And we bumped a deer coming in.
And we bumped a couple deer coming in as well, yeah. They're in here. Yeah, I could definitely see a buck being with a doe, in which case we're not in a horrible spot because we're doe hunting if there's a buck with a doe. The crappy thing about this spot is when cruising bucks come through, there's this plot here we call the back plot, and then the tower plot over there. They're both just kind of overgrown fields now. But what they do is when they do these loops, they cut and they just parallel this trail that we're sitting in front of, and they stay just in the pines, and then work their way up to that other tower plot. There usually is a scrape right in front of us at 25 yards. It's a place where they just can come, hit that scrape, and then run that same line. But apparently nobody's doing it right now because the scrape's not open. I don't know.
I feel like it's just going to take 1 deer to come up this, like where your buck came up a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Because it's there's rubs back behind us. Like they're definitely using that.
Yeah.
It's just going to take 1 right decision to come up that trail.
Yeah. Or the wrong decision in their opinion, or in their mind. Big of a buck. But there was a buck. You wrong.
Yeah.
Well, we've seen him for probably like the 4th time now. It's probably just the same buck. He's doing all kinds of loops. He now just went way to the east, out towards the cut cornfield. I could definitely see him come back through again, though.
Still got...
every time we see him, I think he's huge, so maybe we should just shoot him. We're going to shoot him if he comes through. But we've had him. This stand just not... It's in a great spot for deer coming up out of the woods on this pinch, but they can just move so easily through the pines, and then now that field's overgrown a little more than it used to be, and they clearly have no problem walking right through the middle of it. Not to mention, nobody's stepped foot in that thing for, 2 years now. So, if we were in that building with a gun, there'd be a lot of deer dead, but we're here with a bow. And no deer are dead. Except maybe that one just got hit on the road. So we've got probably about a half hour of light left. Just gonna keep sitting and see what happens. Doesn't seem like there's any other bucks going through here, but
you never know.
It is the rut. Well, that does it for the daylight portion of our hunt tonight. We're going to get the headlamp out and continue to hunt for the rest of the night. So I can see. Excuse me. You're still rolling.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to probably conclude our hunt. Well, that's going to conclude our hunt for tonight. We ended up seeing that buck, I think, 5 times tonight. The last time we saw him, he was just outside of bow range, probably 45 yards. Managed to not bring a rangefinder tonight, too, so that really makes it ambiguous. He came to probably 50 yards 3 different times. I mean, he's just running around making loops. Probably the deer that we saw that was this big buck probably was him just doing his loops back there. I mean, he's been on his feet all night. I guarantee that's a buck we bumped right underneath the stand on our way in. He just stayed here all night running around. We did end up seeing, I think it was a fawn or a doe right before he came out the last time that ran across the plot quickly. The crappy thing about where this stand is you're 30 yards from the edge of those pines. If they work just on the trail in between pines and hardwoods, they're right there at 30 yards. It's perfect. There's usually a scrape there, but not today. Every time he's come through here, he's just worked right inside those pines and stayed just out of range. Looks to be probably like just a nice looking 2-year-old. But every time we saw him, we thought he was bigger, so we were going to shoot him. He was, at the beginning of the night, he was kind of running some does out of a bedding area over there. We ended up not seeing those does after that encounter. It seems like they may have worked off to the east to some cut corn, and there was maybe one other doe we saw that went to the west. It's so tough to tell where they go in here, though, because these pines, obviously, you can't see through them. We're going to sit here for another probably 5 minutes. We probably have a little bit of shooting light left, and then start packing our stuff and get down. We've got a couple camera cards to check. Haven't checked these for over a month now, so as long as the cameras worked, it should be interesting. Still got a lot of hope for this property going into late season. Usually pretty darn good here until muzzleloader. And the property across the road is usually just a cut cornfield, cut bean field, but this year they actually planted cover crops in it. Looks like the turnips or radishes, whatever they are, have got a pretty serious head on them, and they should have bulbs underneath them too. So I'm hoping late season this is a good spot to be, with pine bedding for thermal cover, and then cover crops out across the road to feed in at night. The landowner is going to probably be hunting here next week in gun season. It'll be interesting to see what he sees. Hopefully he gets shot at a good deer in that plot over to the west of here. But either way, we'll probably wait until after gun season to be back in here. And I don't know, it's kind of cool to come in and see some deer. Haven't been in here all year, and this is probably this is definitely my favorite stand to be on this property. Just happy to get out with Keith for this too, because I